overhaul. And this will be a cost-effective process because the transaction keeping or the cost of transaction by the centralized systems became too much. Because as number of people across the globe intensified and as economic intensity intensified, the demand on services for this person to come and make those ledger entries, to monitor them, to execute them, kind of scaled up in an exponential manner. Whereas the resources spent on keeping these transactions and other things, although technology was available, ICT had come in, the third industrial revolution had come in, so digital records were being kept and things like that. But since the processes were manual, the scaling up of the resources to service the demand of the society was poor. So the cost of recording transactions went up. So this thing went up. Now this guy, in this white paper, he comes and says the central trusted third party is denecessitated from the entire equation. We do not need him. The cryptographic proof of transaction that we are entering into will service as the source of trust, because this cryptographic proof of transaction is an immutable one. It is an unchangeable one. For example, today I enter into a transaction which we both agree, maybe Devesh and I, and we write it down, and then we provide a cryptographic proof of that message. If I tomorrow change any bit of the message, the cryptographic proof will not come out to be the one which was entered into the first instance. So there we will come to know that some wrongdoing has been done. Therefore, it is an uncheatable system. And an uncheatable system does not require trust to be built in prior to entering into the transaction method. Simple as that. Therefore, what we are getting in blockchain is that we are getting a level of decentralization. Now, people can participate into their own transaction recording protocol directly. So I am constructing a message of my transaction that I want to send, let's say, 5 Bitcoins or 5 whatsoever to Devesh, and I broadcast it to the community. The community receives it, creates a cryptographic proof of that transaction, validates if I am the rightful owner of those coins that I want to send, and they say that okay, this is valid, this entry it's a legit entry, it could go into the records, and then they are creating a cryptographic proof of the transaction and recording it into an immutable ledger called the blockchain. Now tomorrow, if there is any dispute, it can be easily referenced to with a transaction code and things like that, and that cryptographic proof of transaction can be picked up for verification. And if any one of us is like misrepresenting, it will be evident. So with this security, now one more application could be brought into place is that these enterprises who are entering into multiple transactions on a daily basis can now record all of their transactions on a digital ledger instantaneously and can create that without incurring a huge amount of transactional cost. They could also employ technologies like smart contracts to automate the whole process. And it will keep on, it will, okay. It will keep on, recording all the transactions. So we are talking of, when we are talking about Internet of Things, machine to human interaction or machine to machine interaction or Internet of Vehicles with driverless cars and such transactions happening, daily communications can also be regarded as transactions and things like that. There's a huge amount of data which will be generated, and that needs to be efficiently recorded onto a digital ledger system, which is blockchain. And that's why this is transforming the industry as we know it, making it faster and faster and much more secure for people to participate without requiring a scale up in the trust factor. It is an uncheatable system. So these systems are also called trustless systems. And that is the opportunity which lies here. So everyone Every corporation has understood the potential of digital transformation as looking to imbibe that into their systems today. And that system is something which is being touted as Industry 4.0 revolution. So look up the World Economic Forum website, try to understand how we are talking about, sustainable systems, SDGs, and other things come into play, enabling uh, the technology to reach the challenges that the world as a unit faces today. So there are a lot of things which is going on, and it's a pretty interesting space at this point of time. And blockchain is one of the core technologies which is letting this happen. So much so that in October 2020, PwC made a survey and came out with a report that what is going to be the total global economic impact of blockchain technology. And they took a 10-year study period, and their estimates are by 2030, the GDP boost which blockchain is going to provide is going to tune to about $1.76 trillion. You can download this report. The report is called Time to Trust report from the PwC website, and please go through it entirely. Now, $1.76 trillion represent 1.4% of the world GDP, which is huge. But we'll have to do a lot of things to reach there even. And when we are trying to do a lot of things to reach there, we are essentially talking about creation of jobs, digital transformation in the public and the private processes. And even the governments, not only the public corporations, private corporations, but the governments are looking to get blockchain into their fold so as to provide the welfare services which they do for all the citizens in a much more efficient manner and corruption-free manner at a lower cost. A huge savings to the exchequer expenditures. Slippages नहीं होता, pilferages नहीं होता, wastage नहीं होता, timely सब कुछ है. So lot of POCs are being worked around at this point of time in India alone with academic partnerships to develop proof of concepts of providing certain services like, let's say, for example, subsidy distribution of fertilizers. This is one happening with IIT Kanpur and the central government. Putting land registry into a blockchain. This is happening with the state government of Tamil Nadu. So you can find all these things in the net today. Some of the reports is India blockchain strategy from Niti Aayog. Please go and find that report. It is a public document. You can download and read it in its entirety. India blockchain strategy by the Ministry of Electronics and IT, MIghty, MEITY, MIghty. You can go and download this report and see how they're talking about setting up a national infrastructure for blockchain solutions deployment. And the various effort, various state governments and central governments are taking in developing this proof of concepts for fertilizer distribution, land registry, healthcare, medical records, and so on and so forth. But then when they are trying to implement all these things, whenever they try to implement all these things, they would be requiring skilled manpower. And there's the opportunity that lies for us. PwC is estimating that with the kind of proliferation that they are expecting, the world is going to add about 42 million jobs by 2030. And India alone is going to add around 3.2 million jobs. Now, I kind of agree with PwC, but I think that it is going to be much more. Because this industry has started growing at a much faster rate than what was anticipated in the 2020 report, Time to Trust report by PwC. Subsequent to the release of the report or the publication of the report, we have seen the cryptocurrency markets go up to $3 trillion market capitalization. The total value locked in the DeFi segments top $120 billion. We have seen in the middle of 2021, the NFT markets come and attract billions of dollars of investment. And towards the end of 2021, we saw metaverse come into play with one of the major events like Facebook change its name into Meta. Microsoft launching its Oculus product with metaverse experience. We are now seeing marriages happening in metaverse. We are seeing concerts happening in metaverse. Justin Bieber, Paris Hilton, They have come to fortnight's metaverse concerts on this thing, metaverse at alone. You can find videos of it on YouTube. So a lot of activity is happening, and it requires a lot of computation, preparation, development, and things like that. So there are going to be some very core tech roles: developer, architect, engineer, consultant, analyst. So whatever technology based core roles that you can see today in any enterprise application company, let's say for example SAP or any others like TCS or things like that, you will find the same core roles in the blockchain development area also coming up, because this also requires significant amount of development. But one more thing which is happening with industry 4.0 technologies is that some of the peripheral jobs are coming very high in demand. So industry 4.0 has got the potential to spill out of the corporations and imbibe the society in its transformation. Now, this is somewhere these peripheral roles become extremely important. How to engage the society in that process. And today, what I see is, technology is shaping the societal habits, and somewhere the trends in the society is feeding into how technology should develop itself. So, trust me, Devesh. When we were young, we used to go out to tea shops, buy, small glasses of tea with our friends. Used to shout our hearts out along with our friends, having fun, debating, discussing, and things like that. And that day, I entered into this Worley Cafe Coffee Day. I see four guys sitting in the sofa. They have got these cappuccinos and lattes in front of them, and all four of them are hooked into their smartphones. And the picture of my tea days with my friends just swept over me, and I was like keenly observing them while I was, with my friends over there. We still were discussing, and those guys, they were also discussing in the real life, but the discussions I could overhear were like, देखना मैंने फेसबुक पे पोस्ट किया, एक लाइक कर दे, शेयर कर दे, कमेंट कर दे. So they are existing in both the spaces today, and that's a remarkable habit change that I am seeing in the society. People are more hooked onto the digiverse, as I may say it, and the screen time is going on increasing. People are participating into that much more actively than what we are. And it is efficient also. Let's say, for example, today I don't have to travel to Durgapur, although I would have not really disliked it. I love that place. But today I'm sitting in Bombay and I'm interacting with the kids in Durgapur, which is amazing. Today I can be sitting anywhere in the world and participating into. This. In fact, we are stepping into metaverse. Probably this is not an immersive experience. We are still like flat screen looking into each other's with video ons. Tomorrow we will be replaced with this, Oculus, the virtual reality glasses, and we could just, our avatars will be just waving to each other. Try out Decentraland, Mana. I don't know how many of you guys are into gaming and things like that. Try that out. You will see you can walk through roads, you can get into shops. There's probably a Samsung store in Decentraland which is recently opened. You can check it in. You can go and you can pick up any, your avatar picks up a particular phone and gets to know its features. So commercial exploitation of these technologies are already happening, and it will only intensify. And all these things requires natural language processing, spatial computing, wearables, gesture recognition, all these technologies to come into play. And who is going to do all these things? Not me, not Devesh. You guys are going to do all these things. You guys need to gear up, skill up, and get all those wonderful things out of your brains, put it into the metaverse and bring it to us. Let us enjoy our cup of coffee in metaverse waving at each other, or our avatars waving at each other. We'll be waiting for that. So that is what we are looking forward to. and the time to participate into this, to learn about it, and to create those things is today. Because always it has been the trend that early adopters are the most rewarded people. And today we are in the cusp. Things are already happening. And I want all of you to really skill up with those technologies, blockchain technologies, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Solidity, Rust, Polkadot, some DevOps things, blockchain development tools like Geth, Mist, Parity, Jennings, cloud creation tools, Node.js. Learn any of the skills, learn it best, and participate into this, in this entire development thing. Bring your creativities out, bring those protocols out, and participate. So we start very small. We start in taking baby steps, learn what blocks are, chains are, how they are formed, how cryptography is used, what are the components of blockchain technology, how it imbibes the social participation in between, you know, how you basically uh, validate and verify transactions in that digital environment without knowing who is on the other end of the message that is being sent to you, and how can you still trust that system. Then go about seeing that what are the differences a particular protocol brings about. What is proof of work, what is proof of stake, what are the differences, what is the kind of scale up latency that is being involved in these processes, how is the technology functioning, is Solana really a better protocol than what Ethereum is, can there be enterprise applications, which smart contract has got how many features, how can they be imbibed into an enterprise application process, how can the systems, the legacy systems of, let's say, for example, anything, supply chain management, made better with the application of blockchain into its fold, and so on and so forth. So, it is a wide open field at this point of time. And there's a fantastic football out there, and there are friends. All you need to do is to roll your pants up, jump into the field, start kicking around, start learning the laws of the game, have fun while you're doing that, and create a beautiful game out of it. FIFA World Cup is coming very up around Qatar, right? And all these guys, they are football fanatics. I'm pretty much sure of them. Another question, how many of your supporters of East Bengal? Hand raises, please. देखो 120 के अंदर कितने लोग हाथ उठाते हैं अभी, ये सी. How many of you are Mohan Bagan fans? See, wow. This year's derby was won by Mohan Bagan only, right? So we have got better fans of Mohan Bagan than East Bengal. That's fine. Let's not get into that debate. The Bengal is a crazy about East Bengal and Mohan Bagan debates. We fill up trucks to reach the stadiums. We have fun while we go on the way to the stadium. We have fun in the stadium. We have more fun when we are coming back. So that's kind of celebration. This is an annual celebration that we conduct ourselves into. And we're very passionate about it. So that's it, guys. This is an extremely exciting area. And what Crypto University does is that Crypto University is part of an effort called Crypto Wire. We have started with the mission of bringing blockchain and cryptocurrency education to mainstream education of Indian technology and business management studies. We believe that this technology has got to attract the talent of both innovative business managers and of course fantastic developers and engineers both, and the opportunities are wide open to both the groups. In fact, I think opportunities come or get better with such collaborations of such brilliant minds participating into this area. So in our attempt to bring this education mainstream, we are coming up with an information dissemination. updation, knowledge dissemination, and knowledge development product that way. So you can find us in the CryptoWire application. You can download it from the Play Store. This is the best way to remain in touch or establish a relationship with this ecosystem. So it is not virtually possible to keep on coming back to with every update and other things. So what we have done is that we have put together an application which we keep on updating on a regular basis. So people who are connected always, remain on the, get updated very fast, remain in touch with the ecosystem. And that's one way to start participating into this ecosystem. Get to know what's going around, formulate your ideas. If you have curiosities, like let's say for example tomorrow a news hits you that let's assume that 50 projects are coming up on avalanche. Now obviously somebody would like to know what avalanche is. I mean, if that's the kind of a curiosity, go press the tab called Crypto University. We have curated some courses over there for you, some free, some paid, some developed by us, some developed by our ecosystem partners, some certifying, some free. One course that I'd really like all of you to go through is one course by Dr. Gary Gensler, which he was giving out in, you'll find this in the CryptoWire application in courses section. So fall of 2018, Dr. Gary Gensler was delivering this course on blockchain and money in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And these guys, they did a brilliant thing is that they recorded his entire sessions into 16, 17 sessions or something like that. And they have made a video of it and uploaded it into the internet. So we have that course with us in our application. What this course does, and I have talked to many industry participants, and they at the same point of time, they kind of, beam out whenever I refer to them of this course, is that it creates an intuition in your mind that what blockchain is, what it can do, and what it cannot do. So that kind of, you will be facing a huge amount of information. It could be good information, it could be bad information, it could be misinformation, it could be just an assumption. You never know. And your decisions will be motivated by a lot of emotions: fear, greed, hope, desperation, and all these things. This intuition, it will make you distinguish between the information which is hitting you and the information which is useful, actable, or to be discarded and disregarded. Trust me, this intuition has helped me stay the course when the tidings were very tough. In 2017, RBI came and prevented anybody to participate in the cryptocurrency areas and things like that. So there was an exodus from the industry. Everybody was saying, "Iska kuch nahi ho sakta." I was still continuing, so everybody is like calling me up. Are you mad? Have you gone out of your senses? I said, look, boss, a country can ban itself from Bitcoin, but it cannot ban Bitcoin because Bitcoin is not controlled by that country. So this intuition, that intuition is lent by this course. And this is a fantastic course to develop that intuition. What blockchain technology actually is, what its commercial applications are, what it can do, what it cannot do. So the ICOs, there are a lot of guys with a lot of brilliant ideas. They come and say, okay, blockchain is the magic wand. This could do wonders for you. You participate with your investments into that money, kind of anything. Few days later, you figure out, okay, that was a rug pull. You have been fooled. Your money swindled away from you. And this intuition will help you, avoid those trap points. So that's it, guys. I mean, with all our partner institutes, we kind of try to engage in two ways. One, you can always follow us on the CryptoWire app or on the social media handles that's there. I kind of keep on publishing a lot of things, sharing a lot of things from my entire ecosystem network through my LinkedIn researches, infographics, basic stuff. Whatever I get, I find it useful. I keep on sharing it. It helps a lot of students who are following me, and then I engage with them from time to time on LinkedIn also. So does Crypto University, Crypto TV, or Crypto Wire for that matter. And uh, we engage with the institutions in two modes. One is with the faculties, one directly with the students. With the faculties, we try to develop faculty development programs, immersion programs. We try to engage them through research collaborations. uh, in essence, building a sustainable system for continuous knowledge delivery and knowledge upgradation into the blockchain and cryptocurrency area. And with the students, we always enthuse and encourage the students. We bring to them courses. We have curated a lot of courses over there. So there are courses, programs, certificate programs, and other things. We help them guide through the entire, their roadmap and journey to this entire thing. What we also do is we try to make learning fun by along with our ecosystem partners. We engage very interesting boot camps, hackathons, with attractive prizes too. And we hope that this will create a good ecosystem of industry interaction with the students, so that the students can finally search out for incubation, internships, incubations, placements, and other things. Network always helps. At the very least, what we do is that we always encourage the students to form a club at your institute, which discusses crypto, blockchain, organize some events along with your friends and things like that, and we'll come and sponsor you, add value to your process, encourage you, and embark on this journey, exciting journey. And Devesh is here. He's going to tell you a lot more about other things apart from job that you can do. So Devesh, please welcome and take the session forward, my dear friend.
Thank you, Ajay. Uh, Whatever, in fact, you said was indeed a very good and insightful session. In fact, you also talked so much about these newer trends, and you said that the early adopters are the ones who actually drive a newer trend. And I would like to just take it up from there, where I completely agree with you. Whenever there are newer trends, they are the ones who actually help in scaling up that new sector or new trend that has come in. Let me substantiate with help of a few examples. Let's sit in a time machine and move back to the year 2000, where e-commerce companies have started picking up steam. That was a time when we saw that they were only selling books, and then they started selling clothes, then gadgets, and then everything and anything under the sun. At that point of time, since it was a newer trend, there were a lot of naysayers, especially the customers, because they were like, we are not going to shop online because this is a thing which is just not possible. It is completely unreal, because how can somebody purchase clothes online where you're used to going to a shop, trying the clothes, checking your size, and then purchasing it? Because the size is different for every brand. Likewise, for gadgets, they were like, how can we purchase a gadget? Because we're used to going to the shop, understanding the specifications, doing a trial, product is working, we take the delivery. Now, how come all of these things can happen online? Now, what also happens is when newer trends come in, there are newer entrepreneurs who come with a lot of innovation. And that is something that actually changes the trend at that point of time. I, having worked with so many startups, so many investors, for me, entrepreneurship is very dear. Hence, I like to be more specific on the job creator community than the job seeker community, because sometimes the job creators are the ones who actually try to bring in the paradigm shift. Having said that, it's not that job seeking is wrong. Everything has its own merits and demerits, but at times when somebody is on the job creation mode, it is that person actually leading as the engine of the train, and maybe the other compartments are the ones who are actually helping him to move ahead. So both have their roles, job creators and job seekers. But currently, let me specify or be specific on the job creator model. Now here, when we saw these entrepreneurs helping customers to build something on this in this direction, what they told these customers was, okay, fine, if you feel the only problem you have is the sizing, don't worry, you order it. If you don't like it, we will take it back with no extra cost. Gadgets, you purchase them. If you feel they're not working fine, there is a issue, they are faulty, we'll take it back. Now, who does all of these things? Nobody ever thought of. It's a eureka moment. And that's how e-commerce started picking up. Today, as we stand in the year 2022, what do we see? We see that our life is completely impossible without having e-commerce in our lives, without shopping online. We are so used to shopping online. Today, if somebody says that, you know what, you have to walk down, say 5 kilometers, go to a mall, pick up a shirt, try it, then take it. And so, this will sound a little weird. You're like, are you in an ice stone age or an ice age? Because people are not used to walking down and buying clothes. They completely take their mobile, place the order, and that's how it is, right? So, and let me now talk about one is a paradigm shift in the way transactions has happened. Now, let me also talk to you about the kind of wealth it has created. Hence, what Ajoy mentioned about he is he feels that what PwC said is an understatement. He's completely right, because the growth is going to be much, much higher than what even PwC can estimate at this point of time. Because when e-commerce companies started back then, nobody was sure what's going to happen. But today, as we see here, what are we seeing? We are seeing today our country has so many unicorns, and most of them are e-commerce companies. Number one. Number two, the kind of wealth these founders have created is enormous. So, in fact, if you look at when Walmart acquired Flipkart, at that point of time, the equity of Sachin and Vinny put together was close to 7%. The co-founders of Flipkart, which was worth 15,000 crores at that point of time. So you can imagine what is 100% value. And that is only one unicorn. There are so many unicorns. If you add all of them, you can imagine what's the money that we're talking about. And that is only unicorns. If you go to non-unicorns, and the number is such a larger number, and if you add that number, that's such a huge number. So one we see is the founders have created enormous wealth. Number three we see is the employees have created enormous wealth, because all this money makes sense when there are employees who are getting paid, who are growing and making the company grow. Number four, we have seen so much of job creation in the economy, because even the remotest of the villages, remotest of the places in the country, there would be at least one person, if not more, who's working with an e-commerce company. So there's a job inclusion that has happened and so many jobs created nationwide. Number five, the amount of revenue that a government made through taxes, because everything that happens, there's a tax attached to it. And all of these transactions happens over the web. When it's happening over the web, there is no cash involved. It's completely online. So there is no black money, white money, and all taxable. So taxes involved. Number six, if you look at the GDP, our GDP has grown. The contribution of the e-commerce to GDP is significant. So when our GDP has been growing, and also the contribution of the e-commerce companies is substantial to the entire GDP. Now there is 625. I can just think right now. If we sit for longer, maybe I can think of another 25. But the point that I'm trying to say is that was a newer trend which started, and it has created so much of impact. Just imagine what would this newer trend do, which has just come and it's been accepted globally. Now let me give another example. So this was 2000. Let's move to 2010 when digital wallets started. What happened at that point of time? People were again skeptical. Is this the way financial transactions will happen? Because Freecharge came out with a few cashbacks, which people thought this is only working as long as there are cashbacks. But today, as we stand in 2022, we are seeing everyone has a digital wallet, right? From a CEO to a company, to a peon to that company, to an auto rickshaw wala, to a pan wala, to a courier wala, everyone has a digital wallet. And everyone wants to do the most pettiest transaction on digital wallet, which is ensuring we are curbing the black money. So the financial transactions are improving. There's a paradigm shift in the way the financial transactions happen. There is a change in which the entire economy is moving. Today, if we see that this has become an inclusive part of a lifestyle to transact through a digital wallet, employees made money, country made money, companies made money, lot of job inclusions, everything positive, right? Now let's move 10 years ahead, which is 2020, when blockchain cryptocurrency started picking up. What happened? Again, people said that we are not sure. Till people thinking they are not sure. I would suggest that you have this golden opportunity where people like Ajoy and I are here to help you, support you, talk to you. So this is where you guys may want to understand and see that इससे और बड़ा हम क्या कर सकते हैं, right? So just jump onto this bandwagon and make something big out of it. Today, if you see, there are so many applications of blockchain that one can think of. Let me share a couple of with you, and then I would love to listen from you guys if you have some applications that you all feel that you can build ventures upon. The most common problem today people have is the healthcare. They are like, despite the standard of living increasing, everything going so well, people are still not getting the right medication, the right healthcare support. If we put everyone's medical records on blockchain, what is going to happen? The beautiful thing that's going to happen is you will have unfudged, transparent data, which doctors can look at. They can see your medical history. They can see the treatments done, the tests done, all the reports, which doctors you reached out to, what prescriptions you have taken. All of that is there. And this would make the diagnosis pretty easier and figure out a remedy for your illness as well. And that's going to revolutionize the entire healthcare industry. That is only one part of it. The other is look at the insurance part of it. It becomes easy for insurers to process claims because they know there is no moral hazard involved here because everything is pretty clear. Even in determining the premiums, it becomes very easier for the insurance companies, right? It actually adds to the actuarial science process of figuring out the probability of how many people are actually going to use this insurance, right? So that entire is going to add a lot of value to the entire actual science process through which it determine premiums for for customers in insurance policies. That is one. Another can be maybe the advertising industry. In fact, today there is a report which says that there is more than $40 billion of leakages that happen in the advertising industry. So if you put all of that onto a blockchain, right from media buying to the invoicing to ensuring where it is being used, all of the pillars of advertising, if I put onto the blockchain, that $40 billion leakage will become completely zero. And that is, so here every penny saved is equal to every penny earned. So you're actually increasing the advertising industry by $40 billion bare minimum. So that is the another effect of putting that onto a blockchain platform. So there are multiple such things that people can do. It is just that you have to think something and you can create something great out of it. In fact, let me share an example that you all can relate to. He's a student. Name is Samuel Fried. A few years ago, he passed out of the MIT in the US. He also wanted to see that this new trend of cryptocurrency is coming in. What can I do with it? So he started studying cryptocurrencies, and then he stumbled upon Bitcoin. And there he saw that Bitcoin was trading at $10,000 in the US exchange and 11,000 in the Japanese exchange. He started buying at 10,000, selling at 11,000 daily basis with a huge volume because he saw a clear-cut arbitrage opportunity. He started doing that. Today, he's just 29 years of age. His net worth is $17.5 billion or perhaps more. He runs a crypto exchange under the name FTX in the US, and that's what he has done. If a student can do this, I'm sure you can do. And it is just about thinking something really simple. There are people who just think of simple things and have created history. Look at WhatsApp. WhatsApp thought of such a simple, easy to use messaging platform. And don't you feel that is the most used messaging service across the globe? In fact, there's another person. Apparently, even his name is Samuel, but his name is Joseph Samuel. This guy, this is around 8 to 10 years back. He wanted to make some money and he was completely broke. He didn't know what to do. Again, in the US. So now, in fact, I always thought that India में जुगाड़ ज़्यादा है, but US में जुगाड़ कम नहीं है. People figure out ways to make money. So this guy saw that people are standing in the queue outside the Apple store waiting to get their first mobile because it was the launch of the new iPhone and people queued up in front of the Apple store to buy the mobile. Now he was like, what can I do? And he saw a lot of rich people standing there too. So he just went into one of the rich guys and he said, you know what? Uh, can I stand for you in the line? And when it comes in, you can come and purchase your phone. So that will save your time. Because for you, time is money. You're a rich man. So he said, wow, thank you. Can you do this for me? He said, yeah. He's like, how much do you want? He said, $350. He said, that's it. No worries. He gave him $350 and that guy stood for him in the line. And when his number came, he did that. He did the same thing the next day. And then he said, why can't I make a business out of it? He collected a few friends. He said, you know what, this is what you're going to do. Not only Apple Store, but across the country, people are standing for paying electricity bills. People are now, thanks to digital life, that you can pay bills online. But when it started off, people used to stand in the line to pay electricity bills. People stand for groceries. People stand for government application forms. So many things that you have to stand in the queue, right? And he said, I will do that for you. And my team of people will do that for you. And he created a huge empire out of it. Now, people can just think of simple things and create ventures out of it. I'm sure you guys can think really something out of the box, because you have more access to technology, more access to information, and definitely we are there to support you as well in your ventures, whether it's on blockchain, cryptocurrency, or anything for that matter. So cryptocurrency, we are more than welcoming you guys to do anything that you want. You want to build your ventures, we'll support you. You need incubation, we are there for. You want to work on live projects, internships, placements, anything and everything that you need under the sun. As long as the realm of blockchain, cryptocurrency, we are there to help you. If you come out with something really alien and you say that, you support us, you told us you support us, not sure or there, but as long as it's related to blockchain, cryptocurrency, we are there, because we have that vision to ensure that, we can spread the awareness about blockchain cryptocurrency as much as in the country. And if the other countries can do it, we are sure we can make it 10 notches better, because we have that talent, right? Our country has it, and the youth has it, and you students are the ones who are going to build the future of our country. So yes, we are there to support you in every possible manner. I'll not take much of your time. I will leave the last few minutes for any questions that you guys may have, and Ajoy and I are more than happy, more than willing to answer any of your questions. You all can either unmute yourselves and ask us, or put in the chat box.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank both of you. I'm sure now blockchain cryptocurrency is not just a vague word to us. We know the basic insights and we know what we're going to do if we opt for such a field. And Devesh sir, thank you for giving us the insight of the application part of blockchain and giving us such examples. I'll ask the audience, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type in the chat box. Sirs are here to answer your questions. Please go ahead. Okay, so we have a question from Arindam Chatterjee. He says, how can we choose an ecosystem we'll work upon? Like there are Ethereum ecosystem, Solana, and okay.
Polka.parachain, yeah.
Yes.
So Arindam, see, basically depends upon the project, what you want to do and things like that. So if you're talking about doing it on Polkadot, obviously you're talking about building a bridge between different chains, and it will be a parachain project, interoperability project. So in Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, all these things are smart contract products, platforms. How do you choose? Depends on your skills, depends on the project viability. So if you are trying to do something which can absorb the costs of Ethereum transaction fees at this point of time, choose Ethereum. If you are choosing something which is, requires a high TPS at a low cost, then probably you will be choosing Solana. But then again, you'll have to see how is the ecosystem supporting you. Let's say, for example, if you're trying to develop a DEX today, then probably the best place to develop a DEX today is Cardano, because one, it is one of the cheapest one of the most feature rich, And the mango markets have recently been launched with the Cardano starter and things like that. The ecosystem is kind of gearing up to launch DEXs and other platforms into that. So even the ecosystem will be very much supportive. But then also there are a couple of things that how popular they will become. Okay, so more and more people using it, more and more people partaking into that project, the project valuation or the economic value addition around the project will be increasing. So two or three things: capabilities, adoption, features. These are the three things which you will be looking at before choosing onto any platform to go about building your project. I hope that answers your question, Arindam.
Arindam, you can even unmute yourself. That's fine. Okay, so we have any other questions from the audience? Feel free to raise your hand. You'll be given a chance to speak. So, any other questions?
Fantastic, Arindam. So here, I guess,
Yes, I guess we have no more questions from the audience. Since it's a new domain and everyone has just started to
correct.
learn the basics, I'm sure they'll ask more questions once they get into it
See, I
completely.
strongly believe there are two situations where questions come to my mind or questions do not come to anybody's mind. One is that when you have understood everything that has been talked about, you don't have any questions left. Second is that you have understood nothing about it, so you have no questions left. So there will be only two instances where there are no questions there. But I guess this is a new field, so people like to dig in, have to read more, and yeah, interact with us wherever possible, and put in your queries. We are always there to help you guys out.
Yes, so we'll surely contact you again.
No
And
problem.
thank you, both of you. I mean, you've shared your time and expertise with us, and it's really valuable to us. And I'm sure our audience has learned a lot from this session. At least we've got the basics of this topic, and I'm sure now we'll go into the depth of this.
I,
And
I'm
thank you
I'm
for
not even attempting that much here. All I'm saying is that you guys should get curious.
yes, sir, that's
Once
true.
the curiosity is there, trust me, you guys have the energy to find out your own way.
Yes, sir, that's true. And I'm sure at that you've generated that curiosity in the audience today.
No problem.
Thank you, both of
Thanks
you.
a
Thank
lot.
you,
Thanks.
sir.
Yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. Thanks for this opportunity. Hope to see you guys over and over again, sometimes sooner, if
So
all.
we'll also see you soon. We'll see you soon. Thank you both. Thank you so much,
Bye
sir.
bye. Take care.
We are glad you all enjoyed it and you all learned from this. So
Yes, sir.
happy to
Yes,
hear
sir.
that.
We did. We are happy to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
So that will be it for today's session. We can leave the meeting. Thank you, everyone.